Good morning, beloved. Today is Wednesday, October 15th, a day that has been divinely appointed for your breakthrough, for the removal of every obstruction, and for the release of blessings that have been waiting for you. I want you to hear me clearly. Your blessing cannot be delayed. It cannot be held back by circumstances, by people, or by the schemes of the enemy. Every delay you have faced, every closed door you have encountered, every moment when it seemed as if life was moving past you, all of that changes today. You are stepping into a day of divine intervention. I want you to pause for a moment and reflect. How many times have you felt that life was moving too slowly, that your prayers were not being answered, that doors were closing just as you approached them? I have been there. I remember nights when I would lie awake, my heart heavy, wondering if I would ever see the promises of God manifest in my life. I remember feeling invisible, as if my prayers were bouncing off the ceiling and never reaching heaven. It was painful. It was exhausting. But it was in that very season of waiting that I discovered the power of persistence in prayer. I discovered that the unseen forces that seemed to block my way could not stand against a heart fully surrendered to God and a voice boldly declaring His word. Beloved, the obstacles in your life, as real as they may seem, are never stronger than the God you serve. They are never greater than His plans for you. I want you to imagine just for a moment that every obstacle in your path is like a heavy boulder sitting in the middle of a river. The water around it is stuck, stagnant, unable to flow freely toward the ocean of your blessings. But when you speak God's word, when you pray with authority and expectation, it is as if a divine current begins to surge. The rocks begin to shift, the debris begins to move, and slowly but surely your path is cleared. The river begins to flow freely, carrying with it the abundance, the favor, and the joy that have been held back from you. I want you to understand something important. Prayer is not just about asking God for things. Prayer is about stepping into your authority as a child of God. It is about declaring out loud that no weapon formed against you shall prosper, that every plan of the enemy is destroyed, and that nothing can stop the fulfillment of your destiny. You have been given power, authority, and dominion over every force that seeks to delay your blessing. Today, October 15th, is the day you begin to exercise that authority. This is your day to speak life over your finances, your relationships, your health, your career, and every area of your life that has been blocked or hindered. I want you to think about the past for a moment, not to dwell in it, but to release it. How many times have you carried the weight of failure, disappointment, or betrayal? How many times have you let past mistakes define your present and limit your future? Today is the day you stop allowing yesterday to dictate tomorrow. Today is the day you release every hurt, forgive every offense, and let go of every barrier that has been holding you back. When you release the past, you create space for God's blessings to flow freely. When you forgive, you unlock doors that were previously locked. When you step into faith with expectation, you position yourself to receive the miraculous. I want you to speak boldly today. Say in your heart, I am no longer delayed. I am no longer hindered. I am stepping into my blessing. I am walking the fullness of God's favor. Do not whisper these words. Declare them. Shout them. Let the heavens hear your voice and the enemy tremble at your authority. Every obstacle that once seemed insurmountable will begin to crumble. Every block that once held you captive will dissolve. The path to your destiny is being cleared, and nothing can stop it now. Beloved, your breakthrough is not just a promise. It is a reality waiting for your faith to activate it. As you pray today, as you declare the word, as you release the past and step boldly into your future, know this: God is already at work. He is moving behind the scenes. He is shifting circumstances. He is orchestrating encounters, opportunities, and divine connections that will propel you into the blessing that has been reserved for you. Your faith today is the key that unlocks what has been delayed. Your voice today is the weapon that breaks what has been bound. Your surrender today is the invitation for God to move in ways that are beyond your imagination. Beloved, I want you to understand something crucial today. Declaring your authority in prayer is not just about saying words. It is about stepping fully into the power God has already placed inside of you. You were created with dominion. You were created to move mountains. You were created to speak life and see the supernatural respond. Every prayer you utter in faith, every declaration you make with boldness has the power to shatter every hindrance, to dismantle every chain, and to release blessings that have been waiting for you. Think about this for a moment. How many times have you felt powerless in the face of life's challenges? How many times have you watched opportunities pass you by because fear, doubt, or uncertainty kept you silent? I have been there too, standing at the edge of possibility, wondering if God's promises were really for me. And it was in those moments when I chose to speak, even when I felt weak, that I discovered the incredible authority given to me as a child of God. When I lifted my voice, when I decreed His word over my circumstances, the unseen spiritual forces that had been blocking my path began to flee. The road that had been rocky and uncertain suddenly became clear. Doors that had been locked swung open. I realized that prayer is not just a ritual. It is a weapon of force, a declaration of victory. Beloved, I want you to imagine your life right now as a battlefield. On one side, you see your dreams, your blessings, your destiny, the life God has called you to live. On the other side, you see obstacles, setbacks, delays, and the schemes of the enemy, all trying to keep you from moving forward. You are not powerless in this battle. You have been given authority in Jesus' name to speak, to decree, and to command the chains to fall. Every word of faith you release is like a sword cutting through the darkness, clearing the way for your blessings to flow. Every declaration you make is a shield protecting you from the enemy's attacks. You were not designed to be defeated. You were designed to be victorious. I want you to see this vividly. Picture yourself standing in front of a giant wall, a wall that represents every obstacle, every limitation, every no that life has thrown your way. Many people see this wall and turn away, thinking it is too high, too strong, too immovable. But today, you are not like many people. Today, you are a child of God, filled with His Spirit, armed with His word, and strengthened by His promises. As you pray, as you speak, as you declare, that wall begins to crack, small at first, imperceptible to the human eye, but with every word, every act of faith, every declaration, the cracks widen. And before you know it, that wall crumbles, leaving a clear path for your blessing to flow through. Beloved, remember this: your authority in prayer is not passive. It is not a suggestion to God. It is an active force that He has placed in your hands. When you speak with boldness, when you decree with confidence, you are partnering with heaven to bring about a divine shift in your circumstances. The chains that have held you back, the delays that have frustrated you, the obstacles that have made you question your purpose, all of these are powerless in the face of a heart that prays with authority. I want you to declare right now, in the quiet of your heart or out loud, if you can, I have authority over every obstacle. I speak life, freedom, and favor into my situation. No delay, no setback, no enemy assignment can stop the blessings of God in my life. I am victorious, I am free, and I am unstoppable. Say it like you mean it. Say it with expectation. Say it as if the breakthrough is already in your hands, because it is. Heaven is already responding to the words of faith you are releasing today. You see, prayer is the bridge between where you are and where God is taking you. It is the channel through which miracles flow, through which obstacles are removed, and through which destiny is activated. Do not underestimate the power of your voice. Do not doubt the authority God has given you. Today, October 15th, is not just another day. It is a divine appointment. It is a day for you to speak with authority, to declare with boldness, and to see the invisible become visible in your life. Beloved, before you can fully step into the blessings that God has prepared for you, there is something crucial that must happen. You must release the past. The past, with all its pain, mistakes, disappointments, and betrayals, can weigh heavily on your spirit, slowing your progress and keeping you from experiencing the fullness of your destiny. I want you to hear me today. Yesterday is not your prison, it is your teacher. Every hurt, every failure, every setback is a lesson designed to prepare you for the triumphs that lie ahead. But if you cling to it, if you allow it to define you, it becomes a chain that holds you back from the freedom and blessings that are already yours. I remember a time in my life when I carried so many regrets. Opportunities slipped through my fingers because I was fixated on what had gone wrong. I replayed mistakes over and over, punishing myself for things I could not change. And in that season, I realized something powerful. I was giving my past authority over my future. That's when I made a decision, a conscious choice to release it. I chose forgiveness not only for those who had hurt me, but also for myself. I chose to let go of resentment, bitterness, and disappointment. And the moment I did, it was as though a weight had lifted from my shoulders. Suddenly, I could see clearly. The path ahead was no longer blocked. Doors began to open. Opportunities that I had not even imagined began to appear. Beloved, I want you to imagine your life as a garden. The soil is rich and fertile, full of potential, but it has been crowded with weeds, the weeds of past mistakes, of old hurts, of regrets and unforgiveness. If those weeds are not removed, nothing new can grow. But when you take the time to pull them out, to release them, to forgive and let go, the soil is prepared for new life, new growth, and new blessings. Every prayer you speak today, every declaration of faith, becomes seed planted in that fertile soil, ready to blossom into abundance, favor, and a divine opportunity. Releasing the past also means breaking the hold of negative emotions and self-doubt. How many times have you felt unworthy because of mistakes you made years ago? How many times have you let shame or guilt dictate your choices? Beloved, God does not look at your past the way the world does. He does not measure your worth by your failures. He measures your faith, your courage, your willingness to trust him, and your readiness to step into the future he has designed for you. Every time you forgive, every time you release, every time you let go, you align yourself with the flow of God's favor. You are saying, I will not let my past steal my destiny. I will not let yesterday determine tomorrow. I want you to take a deep breath right now and imagine yourself stepping out of a dark tunnel into brilliant sunlight. That tunnel represents every struggle, every setback, every heart attach you have carried. And as you step into the light, you realize the weight has lifted. You are free. The chains of yesterday no longer bind you. You are prepared to receive the blessings that have been waiting for you. The path ahead is cleared. The road is open, and the destiny that belongs to you is within reach. Releasing the past is not a one-time act. It is a daily choice. Every morning, you can choose to let go of bitterness. Every evening, you can choose to forgive. Every moment, you can choose to focus on what God is doing in your life instead of what has already happened. And as you do, your faith is activated. Your hope is renewed. Your spirit is empowered to receive the miraculous. Today, October 15th, is your opportunity to let go of the weight that has slowed you down and step boldly into the blessings that God has already prepared for you. Beloved, now that you have released the past, it is time to activate your faith and expectation. Faith is not just a feeling, it is a deliberate choice, a posture of the heart, a declaration that what God has promised will manifest no matter what your circumstances look like today. It is the bridge between where you are and the miracle that is waiting for you. I want you to understand that God is not limited by what you see. what you hear or what others say about your situation. His power is not constrained by the obstacles in your life. When you activate faith, you are partnering with heaven to move the mountains, shift the tides, and unlock doors that have been firmly closed. I remember a time when I faced what seemed like impossible odds. The path ahead was dark, the challenges were great, and the enemy whispered doubts in my ear, trying to convince me that I was too small, too weak, too late. But I refused to give in. I chose to believe, not in what I could see, but in what God had promised. Every morning I would wake up and declare, God, your favor is on my life. Nothing can stop your plan. I will see your goodness today. And do you know what happened? Step by step, breakthrough by breakthrough, the impossible became possible. Opportunities appeared, resources came, and doors opened that I never even knew existed. That is the power of faith combined with expectation. Beloved, I want you to imagine your life right now as a garden filled with seeds. Each promise of God, each dream He has placed in your heart is a seed waiting to grow. Faith is the sunlight and the water that activates these seeds. Without it, they remain dormant, unseen, and unrealized. But with faith, with expectation, with belief, these seeds begin to sprout. They grow strong, reaching toward the heavens, and eventually they bear fruit that blesses you and everyone around you. Your expectation is not arrogance. It is trust in the faithful God who never breaks a promise. I want you to see your future as already victorious. Do not look at the delay, the setback, or the difficulty and allow it to intimidate you. Instead, picture yourself stepping into the blessings that are on the way. See yourself walking into financial increase, divine connections, restored relationships, and doors of opportunity swinging wide open. Speak it, declare it, believe it, and act as if it is already yours. Your words carry power. Your faith carries authority. Heaven responds to faith-filled declarations, and your expectation is the key that unlocks God's favor. Beloved, sometimes the enemy will try to distract you, to plant seeds of doubt and fear. He will whisper, "It is too late. It will never happen. You are not enough." I want you to resist those lies with every fiber of your being. Speak truth over your life. Declare, I am enough. I am chosen. I am favored. My breakthrough is here and I receive it now. Bold expectation moves mountains. Confident faith opens doors. Unwavering belief turns delays into divine appointments. As you activate your faith today, I want you to reach beyond what is comfortable, beyond what is known, and trust God for the miraculous. Expect Him to show up in ways that defy logic, reason, and human understanding. Expect miracles in your finances, restoration in your relationships, healing in your body, and favor in every area of your life. Do not settle for partial blessing. Do not settle for less than what God has promised. Speak life, move in expectation, and position yourself for the abundant breakthrough that is already prepared for you. Beloved, October 15th is not just another day. It is your appointed day of faith and expectation. Today, choose to believe, choose to declare, and choose to expect the miraculous. Let your heart be filled with hope. Let your words be filled with power. Let your spirit rise in confidence, knowing that God is faithful to fulfill every promise and that your breakthrough is not only coming, it is already on the way. Beloved, now it is time to step fully into your blessing. You have recognized the obstacles, declared your authority, released the past, and activated your faith. Now is the moment to move boldly into the destiny that has been prepared for you. Stepping into your blessing is not passive, it is an intentional act. It is deciding in your heart that nothing will stop you from claiming what God has promised. It is walking forward with confidence, knowing that the path is cleared, the chains are broken, and the way is open for your favor to manifest. I want you to picture your life as a vast horizon, filled with opportunities that have been waiting for the right time to appear. Behind you, the darkness of delay, disappointment, and defeat has fallen away. Ahead of you stretches a path of divine favor, abundance, and breakthrough. Every step you take today, October 15th, is a step into the fullness of God's blessing. There is no need to hesitate, no reason to doubt, and no power in heaven or on earth that can prevent what God has ordained for you from reaching completion. Beloved, I remember a time when I stood at the edge of a major decision, unsure if I had the strength to move forward. The past whispered fears, the enemy shouted discouragement, and every reason to remain stagnant seemed louder than the call to advance. But I chose to step forward anyway. I chose to trust God's promises over my fears, to move boldly despite uncertainty. And in that act of courage, my blessing began to unfold. Opportunities I had never imagined appeared. Resources I thought were unavailable were released. Doors that had been tightly closed swung open. And I realized that stepping into my blessing required only one thing: courage to move forward in faith. Today, I want you to embrace that same courage. Step forward as though your breakthrough is already in your hands. Walk as though the favor of God surrounds you, as though every obstacle that once hindered you has been removed. Speak boldly over your life. I step into my blessing. I walk in divine favor. I move in victory. Nothing can stop the fulfillment of God's promises for me. Allow these words to resonate in your heart, for they are the seeds that activate your destiny and bring heaven's power into your present. Beloved, stepping into your blessing also means acting in alignment with what God has called you to do. It is not enough to wait for blessings to appear while remaining stagnant. Your actions, guided by faith, multiply the power of God's promises. Every choice, every step, every decision taken in obedience to Him positions you to receive the fullness of His favor. And as you walk this path, you will notice divine connections, unexpected resources, and miraculous opportunities appearing along the way, confirming that you are on the path of your destiny. I want you to imagine for a moment that your life is like a river finally freed from its dam. The waters that had been held back rush forward with unstoppable force, filling every dry place, nourishing every barren field, and overflowing into abundance. That is what happens when you step into your blessing. The favor, the opportunities, the breakthroughs, and the miracles that God has prepared for you are released. The enemy's attempts to block your progress are rendered powerless. The chains of limitation are shattered, and you find yourself walking confidently into a future full of promise and victory. Beloved, today is the day to fully embrace your divine inheritance. Say with me in your heart, I am stepping into my blessing. I am walking in favor. I am living in victory. I receive all that God has prepared for me, and I will not be delayed. Declare it boldly. Live it confidently. Move forward courageously. Your blessing is not just coming, it is already here. Your destiny is not just a dream, it is your reality waiting to be realized. And as you walk forward in faith, expectation, and obedience, you will see the miraculous unfold before your very eyes. Beloved, as you continue to move forward into your blessing, it is essential to understand that perseverance is key. The journey to breakthrough often requires patience, persistence, and unwavering trust in God's timing. Even when the path seems long, even when the obstacles appear again, even when the enemy tries to discourage you with fear, doubt, or delay, you must hold firm. Remember that God is always at work behind the scenes, orchestrating every detail of your life, preparing the way for your favor to be fully revealed. I remember a time when the breakthrough I had been praying for seemed to be taking forever. Every day I woke up with hope in my heart, but the circumstances had not yet changed. It would have been easy to grow weary, to give up, or to settle for less than God had promised. But I chose to persevere. I continued to pray, to speak God's word over my situation, and to act in faith as if the blessing were already mine. And then, just when I least expected it, the doors opened, resources appeared, opportunities arrived. People who had once been closed off became allies. The breakthrough came not just as I had imagined, but in ways far beyond what I had hoped for. That is the power of persistence and trust in God's timing. Beloved, imagine your life as a mountain you are climbing. The summit represents your breakthrough, your blessing, your destiny. Along the way, the terrain may be rocky, the path steep, and the journey exhausting. You may encounter obstacles that seem impossible to overcome. But every step you take in faith brings you closer to the peak. Every word of prayer, every declaration of faith, every act of obedience moves you forward. And when you finally reach the summit, the view is breathtaking. You can see how every struggle, every delay, every moment of doubt was actually preparing you to fully appreciate the blessing that awaits. Do not allow the enemy to convince you that your delay is a denial. A delay is simply God's perfect timing at work. A delay is preparation, positioning, and alignment for something far greater than you could imagine. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are exactly where God wants you to be in this moment, so that when your blessing arrives, it comes with power, favor, and supernatural provision. Trust Him. Stay faithful. Keep praying. Keep declaring. Keep moving forward. Beloved, I want you to see yourself as unstoppable. No setback, no criticism, no challenge, no obstacle can stop the plans of God for your life. As you persevere, as you continue to pray with authority, as you continue to release the past, activate your faith, and step boldly into your blessing, you are positioning yourself for a supernatural shift. The walls that have held you back crumble. The chains that have bound you break. The favor that was delayed rushes toward you with unstoppable force. And as you move forward, you will experience a level of breakthrough that is not just temporary. It is lasting, transforming, and life-changing. I want you to declare right now with unwavering confidence, I will not give up. I will not be moved. I will not be delayed. I am walking in the fullness of God's blessings, and nothing can stop what He has prepared for me. I am victorious. I am unstoppable. I am free. Say it with your whole heart, believe it with your whole being, and act as though the victory is already in your hands. For in truth, it is. Heaven is moving. Your breakthrough is here. Your destiny is unstoppable, and your blessing cannot be delayed any longer.